Welcome to Muvi TV's Primetime News. To present it, my name is Jessie Kalambo. The headlines. Former PF Secretary General appears for questioning at a Charleston police station. Police summon a temple of a legal meeting. 45 million kwacha microchilufia sata girls school stores. Chief Chisunka calls on the UPND to get young people busy to avoid cadarism resurfacing. David Kaunda Stadium rehabilitation flagged off. And now the news in detail. Former Patriotic Front PF Secretary General Davis Mwila has appeared for questioning at Lusaka's Charleston police station, and speaking to journalists shortly after the questioning, his lawyer Kamba Angola says his client was being questioned in connection with the investigation pertaining to 3 campaign vehicles in northwestern province. Mr. Angola says Mr. Mwila has given his side of the story and will leave the rest to the police to issue a statement to the media. Meanwhile, PF member Chishimba Kambwili has charged that the path of investigating campaign vehicles will hound the ruling UPND, saying this move is likely to destroy democracy, as people will now be scared to help the opposition during campaigns.
Of summoning Monday morning 24th January 2022 blew in Davis Mwila's direction. Once untouchable, former Patriotic Front Secretary General Davis Mwila appeared before Charleston police in Lusaka, where he was summoned for questioning regarding 3 vehicles that were used during campaign in Kasama, Northern Province. Mr. Mwila's interrogation lasted not less than 2 hours. Mr. Mwila's lawyer, Kangwa Angola, said despite police summoning his client, they could not give him full details of the complainant nor what offense he might have committed. He further added that police have taken note of his client's side of the story pertaining the 3 vehicles that were used during the August 2021 general election campaigns.
An investigation pertaining to some campaign vehicles. So they have not given us the benefit of appreciating the essential object of the investigation, that is in terms of the complainant, and most importantly what offense might have been committed. So we ended at giving his side of the story regarding what he knows about the party's campaign vehicles. That is talking in terms of what they really want to get at and how far this process should go.
There were a number of opposition PF officials that were present at Charleston Police to offer solidarity. As Information and Publicity Secretary Rafael Nakachinda says there is no such law that demands that political parties should reveal their sources of funding.
So the issue of wanting to investigate the source of funding for Patriotic Front, to investigate the source of all logistics, including transport, in this case vehicles, by intimidating and wanting to harass our former Secretary General, I think is very unfortunate. It's undemocratic, as it has been said. We don't have a law in this country that compels political parties to declare their source of funding, or indeed to declare where they got their properties.
For the Patriotic Front presidential hopeful Chishimba Kambwili, he was just pleased that Mwila was released and his case heard at the quickest possible time.
And like we have said as PF, we are not against the police investigating anybody with a view of, if they suspect anything. But what we ask them is to do it in the correct way. Like what we have seen today, they call him, interview him, let him go home, and if they want him, we'll bring him again. We'll have no problem with that.
It is a clear fact that after Patriotic Front PF lost elections on August 12, 2021, many of its officials have been trekking to security officers and that of investigations, some as answering to cases that as far as back as 2015. For now, Mr. Muila is a free man. Until then, that police find a complainant into the matter.
In the interim, their intimation is that they're likely to get back to us because they term this as an ongoing investigation. That's why it could be indefinite. We don't know how far they want to go. But basically they're talking about vehicles, nothing spectacular.
Jambela Mutumba, Muvi TV News in Lusaka.
7 opposition political party leaders have criticized the New Dawn administration and President Hakainde Hichilema of undermining the role of the opposition in the country. They complained of the various governance issues of concern and the new administration. Among those who attended include the Patriots for Economic Progress, PAPE Shantembo, Democratic Party's AFRICA-LITOVIA, New Heritage Party leader Chishala Kateka, and the People's Alliance for Change leader Andifund Banda. Others are National Democratic Congress Savoy Imboila, Economic Freedom Fighters leader Kasonde Mwenda, and United for Better Zambia's Hector Zondo. And the Patriots for Economic Progress paper President Shantembo has challenged President Hichilema to come out and tender an unconditional apology to Zambians of the leaked audio involving his senior government officials. Mr. Tembo says when senior government officials in a very important ministry like that of Home Affairs involving the Permanent Secretary Joseph Akafumba and the State House political advisor Levin Goma conspired to prevent a political party from filing in a candidate in an election is a very serious matter. Mr. Tembo further says that President Hichilema is personally implicated in a leaked audio where Mr. Kafumba and Mr. Ngoma were allegedly heard plotting to prevent the Democratic Party from filing in a candidate in the Kabata parliamentary by-election.
Then we need to take it that the audio is authentic. Yes. And since as of now we are taking it that the audio is authentic, we wish to demand, as we hereby do, for the Republican president, since he is the most senior among these four, the Republican president should tender an unconditional apology to the Zambian people.
And leader of the opposition National Heritage Party, Chishala Kateka, has implored the Republican President Hakainde Hichilema to spend more time in the country and better the lives of the citizens. She says the president needs to create an enabling environment for local investors before considering international ones.
Mr. President, instead of globe-trotting, can you spend more time in country and ensure that the lives of the people that you are leading are more comfortable? Going to bring in investors is good. However, before doing that, it's very important to work on the dynamics at home to provide an enabling environment for both the local investors. Local investors should be your first port of call. And then we go to the foreign investors. Please help Zambians to attain a good standard of living.
She also wondered why President Hakainde Hichilema has been delaying to move into State House.
Noted with increasing sadness the failure to distinguish by the Republican president between his personal matters and matters of the state. Case in point, I mean, you will recall when after the inauguration or at the inauguration, there was much discussion about personal car. He actually used his personal car. These are issues we ought not to be discussing. The issue at hand at the moment is his refusal to shift to Nkwazi House. And this has further exacerbated this situation because his community house, I think it's called, is his personal house, which is now used to attend to matters of the state. This issue may not seem serious, however, it presents a unique risk of institutionalized corruption and state capture, because now meetings that should be held in state institutions are being held in personal houses, and it ought not to be. So we need to take this very, very seriously.
Meanwhile, leader of the NDC Savoy Imboila urged the UPND administration not to make the same mistakes that the Patriot Front PF made, which resulted to them being voted out of power, alleging that the head of state is making appointment based on the region one comes from.
Abuse child, that sadly nobody becomes an abuser also. But it should not be like that. Because we are abused, we should not abuse others. And that's what the UPND continuously keeps on telling us. Even if Mandiso, that's what they say. They used to beat us. We shall beat them also, you know. So the written appointments, I will mention a few, but they go as follows. If you want this document, I'll give it to you. The president is from the Southern Province. The speaker is from Western Province. The chief justice is from Central Province. So I'm talking about the way Zambia has been cut. We unfortunately cut Zambia in half like this. This side, the western part of Zambia, and the other side, the northern part. So we don't want that. We want the one Zambia, one nation. Not why we cut Zambia in half. You know Zambia's got that shape like a baby, right? Like a baby or a fetus in the womb. So you cut like a baby in half like that. We don't want that. So Central Province also will go this side. If you look at our cabinet, you do have a Northwestern Province, which is the defense, Home Affairs, Southern, Finance, Western, Justice, Southern.
Economic Freedom Fighters leader Kasonde Mwenda, who was also in attendance, has this to say.
The IMF is another burden that is coming, that they are borrowing on behalf of Zambians. You and me will need to shoulder this. And when people borrow on your behalf, they need to explain to you the conditionalities. The UPND on the 29th of August 2019 said they will not borrow without involving Parliament. They will be constitutional people. But they have diverted from that. Who was consulted on the IMF? Who was even told? Even when they went in, they borrowed a large amount of money that they even failed to disclose to the full extent that they said they will be using to build schools. They did not consult anybody. And that's a kind of hypocrisy we are urging them to restrain from.
Others who were in attendance are Democratic Party's AFRICA-LITOVIA, People's Alliance for Change leader Antford Banda, and United for Better Zambia's Hector Sondo. However, just after the event, PEP leader Sean Tembo disclosed to the media that he received a police call-out for convening the meeting without permits. Margaret Chota, Muvi TV News in Lusaka.
Meanwhile, police in Lusaka have summoned the Patriots for Economic Party PEP leader Sean Tembo to appear before police for allegedly convening an illegal meeting. The opposition leader has been summoned to appear before police at a force headquarters tomorrow, Tuesday, 25th January 2022 at 10 hours. The PEP president was among political parties that held a joint press briefing in Lusaka Monday morning, 24th January 2022.
We are informed by my secretary at the office that the police have issued a call out against me for convening this meeting. Although I'm not the one who convened it, I understand they are saying that we needed a permit. We needed to hear and share.
Chief Chisunka of the Usha-speaking people in Mansa district of Lapula province has called on the United Party for National Development UPND youth leadership to formulate a roadmap for youth empowerment to avoid the scourge of cadreism resurfacing. Chief Chisunka, who is also chairperson for Lapula Chief Royal Establishment, says cadreism will not end if the youth have nothing to do. The traditional traditional leader was speaking when UPND Deputy National Youth Chairperson for Politics and Mobilization Trevor Mwinde paid a courtesy call on him. And Mr. Mwinde has assured Chief Chinsuka the youth leadership is determined to ensure violence driven by cadres is curtailed. The chief was reacting to recent incidents of violence where Kasama District Administrative Officer DAO Butina Mukoko was beaten.
Social media, let's hope to UPND, we don't want that. Find something, bring the good roadmap as the youth chairperson, bring a good roadmap to see that the youths benefit. Share bakaripa, the youths pakiritika. Chale bakaripe fyo bale umwa. Chale bakaripo kumunaba nabo. Ifyo bale chita benefit. Nombo kubaputura fye paka mukumwa tirekene kuchitefya musangu efe. They suffered a lot your youths. Mu UPND, kuruba PF. Nombo chototuwe for any revenge. You don't want revenge. Amaka, kubonfya amaka. The way they used to do. That's not what we want. Tia tuwa for ile fya kuchita. Wa president filabara gati kadarizi mwishire before. Let's not be just a shilling before a cadarism.
Instruction kumise pala shisushaka mchilongo ime UPND na Zambia fyo yonse. Uteko tuwaingira muteko batukawa muteko yonse. Walisha wachilongo batinga uwaisa kwali wokuya. Ngwai. So palicho tuwonfya excitement. Nangu tuwonfya mtimo wakahitemo kwa batichonse vile fyo mbali kumisu. So hapa ishoko yobati chiyemi sepera kulinga njala bakateka fyo basosele mayo balizo sama chiwi yakwe bati shire mona mo sense ko bati bakapokola bengi regarding aina yeyo kukasama mwaba fyo officer commanding office ili hapa no ine oba umine neba nishi ma office nshi to bakala.
Meanwhile, Chief Chisunka has appealed to President Hakainde Hichilema to consider appointing local people who have labored for the party. The traditional leader says that many people who labored for the United Party for National Development (UPND) are hurting because of being left out. He adds that the tendency of appointing people from elsewhere just because they originate from Lapula is a source of concern because these people only develop where they are based.
I think 27 years, whatever. Up to now, they are not being considered in Timaira Karipa. Navena. You people who are in the positions, think about those people who suffered with you. Because that ukapokera bariyama inyu kama za tyo nishero cha twala pangishina. Tamwa pangishina muri uyu musango. Pangishina yako mwachurire na bena. Those whom you suffered with. Eko bari bo mwachura na bena. Na no batwa muri kibali chafirangishina. Appointments. The president appointments. Umuntu kuno kali afuma kuri mbipatana 25 years. Batyo basa kuchita appoint. Ukwiba tyo krifu ukwiba tinomba bena na twantumina rwapura. Let the president also consult to traditional leaders. We are not politicians. We support government of the day. Government of the day must structure their government. Politically, to support political. Ili pongari yo. Government ili former civil servants na structure ili to support. As we advise the political, which is there. Normal traditional leaders, ngaba ikala kuno bana pointless. To bring somebody who akutarika na kurusaka ati pantumina rwapula nombe utrise tumuliyete kuno indara bashiri yakula afola shakula yafiye kuri yakwine kumarusaka twefa afina ngutako atubina rwapula kuno kwine badabo babombere na bena babe ko bakwateko something, let them benefit something. Tatueshusha appointments aba president, but also let those on the ground ebo mwachulire na vera ba president babacheko consider to kwata watu alibombere na vera na kutaba bachita ba points baba pere fya kuchita kwata ko arampera kwicha kuchita chemo muri sekeram then uku bashafi fyafi bachiri bale.
An item just received. Police in Lusaka have arrested a journalist for destroying evidence. In a statement, police spokesperson Ray Hamonga said Petichanda 38 of a KBN television station has since been warned and cautioned. Mr. Hamonga says Ms. Chanda has since been released. He says investigations in the matter are ongoing. On that note, we take a break. Still to come is more news items. Stay tuned.
They'll play a high press to force the mistakes.
They'll dominate the aerial ball. They too tall. We'll handle the pressure and smash them on the break.
The number 9 has scored in their last 5 games.
The passing will be quick, decisive, precise. There will be drama in the dying minutes. This match will mean more than 3 points.
They will have the home ground advantage. This is why I bet.
This is why I bet.
This is why I bet.
Betway.
So here's how to pay using Airtel Money. Ensure your decoder is turned on and tuned to channel 1. Dial *778#, then select the option that says Make Payment. Select Pay TV, then select Muvi TV. Enter the 12-digit smart card number, then enter the amount you wish to pay. Enter the Muvi TV account number, omitting the dash before the last digit. Then select the amount you wish to pay.
For inquiries, call customer care on 0764 250055 or 0764 250052 or 0978 732 411 or 0978 732 412.
Mom says yes!
She said yes! 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 She said yes!
Chawama! Congrats, bro!
What? Who'll be there?
Last Sunday of next month.
Ew, are you here?
You may give her the ring.
Everyone, say to life.
One day, I'll give you the world.
Oh, you already have.
Anyone can get lucky.
Welcome back. We'll continue with the news. The church has been asked to cleanse itself for having openly campaigned in the 12 August 2021 elections, thereby shaming the body of Christ. Faith Fellowship Ministries International Bishop Lefai Lumbanya is, however, quick to mention that political parties should not wait until the elections to embark to the church. Bishop Lumbanya further says opposition political parties should provide credible checks and balances. And speaking at the same function, Mansa District Commissioner Irene Chivweta, who was the guest of honor, says it is the role of the church to guide the New Dawn administration.
The church, being the body of Christ, that plays an important role in the running of the country, especially Zambia, as it is a Christian nation. Faith Fellowship International Ministries, one of the Pentecostal churches in Mansa, has turned 10 years of existence and has been in prayer and fasting for 21 days, where they prayed for the leadership of the country, the church, among others. Church Bishop Lefai Lombanya, who gave a sermon, has called on opposition political parties to allow the UPND government to execute its duties without interference.
You are really giving checks and balances to you are just disturbing. You are just disturbing. My friend, if you have already tasted power, it's better you retire. You just go and sit quietly. It's more honorable. we have a problem in our country.
Bishop Lombanya has pledged the church support and also called on the new government not to start doing what other governments were doing to the body of Christ.
Last time, churches became platforms for campaigns during elections. Campaigns donating to attract votes from electorates. I am praying for the new Dawn government that don't do that.
And Mansa District Commissioner Eileen Chivweta, who was the guest of honor, has called on the church to support the government and correct it when it goes wrong.
So as a government of the day, we are going to move hand in hand. It is your role as a church to advise where you feel, to correct things where you feel things are not going well. That is your role. We don't want to see a church being silent.
She also assured the church of being in safe hands as both President Hakainde Hichilema and Vice President are God-fearing people. Helen Chisha reporting for Muvi TV News in Mansa.
The 45 million kwacha Michael Chilufya Sata Girls School has stalled. Infrastructure and Housing Minister Charles Milupi has, however, promised to solicit for funds to complete the project, which currently stands at 70%. The school was commissioned without infrastructure, and the pupils at the institution were forced to share classroom space with their colleagues at Isoka Boarding Secondary School within the district. Richard Simbaya reports.
Committed to complete his third project in the country is clearly seen as the Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development, Charles Milupi, inspected some of the project in Isoka district. Michael Chilufya Sata Girls Secondary School, which is stored in 2012, was top priority on his agenda.
It's Michael Chilufya Sata Girls Boarding School. This has been brought to my attention by the Honorable Member time and again.
The minister was not happy with the 400 bags of cement that has turned into cake at the institution.
And we're disappointed that it has remained static of cement that have gone to waste. This is how government loses things. At the moment, because this facility is not operational, young children here have to support this.
Meanwhile, Isoka outgoing District Education Board Secretary Gino Malango Strima has appealed to the minister if the school can be partially opened for learners who are currently learning at Isoka Boys Team School.
Honorable Minister, our cry is even if this facility is not completed in full, even if it's a partial handover, we would still be very happy that our girls will be brought here, they start learning.
And Isoka Member of Parliament, Honorable Marjorie Nakaponda, who accompanied the Minister for Project Inspection, thanked him for the visit.
To come and see everything for himself. I'm very thankful, Honorable Minister. You know, where development issues are concerned, we have to put politics aside. I'm very happy, Honorable Minister, and also thank the President for me, for having made it possible for you to come and inspect this project.
The construction of Michael Chilufya Sata Girls Secondary School started in 2012 and stored in 2019. Richard Simbaya in Isoka district of Muchinga province.
Zambia is likely to lift its COVID-19 restrictions by June 2022. Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary Lakson Kasonka says this may happen if the country attains herd immunity by then. In the last 24 hours, Zambia has recorded 294 new COVID-19 cases out of 2,110 tests conducted.
Zambia is likely to lift its COVID-19 restrictions by June 2022. Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary Lakson Kasonka says this may happen if the country attains herd immunity by then. In order to attain herd immunity, 70% of all eligible citizens must be vaccinated. However, for Zambia, that number stands at only 20%.
Let's continue the drive for the vaccination so that by June this year, only five months left, by June this year we shall be able to attain a herd immunity of not least 70%, we shall give confidence to the minister also to announce in the same way that the Prime Minister of Britain did to scale down on these other stringent measures.
Ministry of Health Director of Infectious Diseases, Professor Lloyd Mulinga, says chances remain high of the SARS-CoV-2 virus mutating into another variant.
As long as we have this pool of people who are not vaccinated, and you can have another new variant, this is a concern from Europe already, of the BA2, and it's also one of the rising variants. It could be a sub-variant of the same Omicron. And it's possible even for us, if we do not continue emphasizing the measures, the prevention measures, we can have another mutation which can happen from the same variants which we have had. So we need to emphasize the prevention still, even as the cases are going down.
In the last 24 hours, Zambia has recorded 294 new COVID-19 cases out of 2,110 tests conducted. 5 deaths have also been recorded, which include a 3-month-old baby. Health Minister Sylvia Masebo discloses that there has been a reduction in cases and admissions.
We discharged 1,341 patients from both home management and facility, leaving 5,439 active cases countrywide. Of the current active cases, 114, which amounts to 2%, are admitted to hospital, with 40, which translates to 35%, on oxygen therapy, and 10, which amounts to 9%, classified as critically ill.
Virginia Chilongo, Muvi TV News, Lusaka.
Still watching Muvi TV's Primetime News. We still have more news items coming up shortly your way. Stay tuned.
Where's Bob? Anyone seen Bob? Has anyone seen Bob? Bob? Bob! Bob!
Over here.
Where?
Over here.
How did you get in there?
With my Airtel Money MasterCard.
Airtel Money MasterCard? But you don't even have a bank account. How did you get a card?
Well, it's not a card, but it works just like one. It's virtual, so no plastic, and it's safer.
But what are you doing there?
I want to buy Nancy a birthday gift, book my flight tickets, renew my Big Flip subscription, and order shipment.
For all things online, the Airtel Money MasterCard. It's not a card, but works just like one. Get one on the Airtel Money menu on your phone.
So here's how to pay using Airtel Money. Ensure your decoder is turned on and tuned to channel 1. Dial *778#, then select the option that says Make Payment. Select Pay TV, then select Movie TV. Enter the 12-digit smart card number, then enter the amount you wish to pay. Enter the Movie TV account number, omitting the dash before the last digit. Then select the amount you wish to pay.
For inquiries, call customer care on 0764 250055 or 0764 250052 or 0978 732 411 or 0978 732 412.
On the pitch of life, you've got to choose your game and who you play with. Your people. You get what I mean?
Oh, that is so true, Mr. Easy.
Because when you need a bit of support, there's the people you can count on. People who are there for you, no matter what.
Guess we are always here for them.
Choose who to play with.
With Bet Power, you can chat, message, or call real people round the clock. This advertisement is brought to you by Bet Power.
Welcome back. We'll continue with the news. United Party for National Development UPND National Youth Chairperson Gilbert Soniso has asked the office of Sesheke Council Chairperson to help youths in the formation of companies and cooperatives to sustain their livelihood. The National Youth Chairman, who is in Western Province on a tour of duty, has mentioned many youths lack the knowledge and formation of cooperatives, hence they require the necessary help from government officials. Speaking when he paid a courtesy call on Sesheke District Commissioner Kapelwa Simoshi, Mr. Lisoniso stated youths should be ready to get rid of the idea of receiving handouts from political leaders. And Mr. Simoshi has assured the National Youth Chairperson youths in Sesheke are being mentored and empowered with knowledge on how to run their businesses through the formation of cooperatives.
Upon ourselves also to participate, to be there. So, Council Chairman, to do with cooperatives, it is your office. Yes. Teachers, open the door to ensure that a lot of young people and the women, they should form these cooperatives. In our message, that is part of it, of sensitizing the audience. It's not an easy, it's a process on its own, from handouts to real empowerment. Many youths, they expect direct jobs, many youths, they expect handouts. But I think the cooperative and limited companies, they have come to state European government. And those who don't want to hear this message, it's up to them. For us as a National Youth Chairman, I'm saying that is my message, and I'm talking on behalf of the women. Please, having worked in that position, this is your second tenure. Yes. Make sure that you involve the women to benefit on the developmental structure and benefit of the New Dawn government by doing what? Let the women not be told to say SMEs. And SMEs for market, for buying vegetables in the market. No. Encourage them to form companies, not cooperatives. Okay, cooperatives, but if they are women who can form companies, who can build your toilets. Don't borrow from an outsider to come and build a toilet here when a woman can build a toilet.
Allow me to recognize you, our National Youth Chairman, and your entourage. Allow me to recognize the Provincial Youth Chairman and the team. Let me recognize my District Youth Chairman, who is my boss. I'm the Constituent Youth Chairman at party level. Let me recognize, delighted for you to come and visit us, and I'm humbled. This is a rare privilege to have you in the Sesheke district. Actually, you have come at the right time to come and sensitize.
Movement President Richard Silumbe says a political will in local production and manufacturing will facilitate the unlocking of the country's potential to have a positive impact on the economy and eventually fix it. Mr. Silumbe says the only solution to the many challenges the country is facing is production. He believes that government will never fix the economy as long as the majority of the population is not productive.
We are able to run our own economy. We are able to produce things that we can sell to foreigners and be able to get genuine money in form of forex. Because all these people, they are where they are because of production. When we look at the Britons, they didn't come to Africa with money. They didn't come to colonize us with money. They came with products such as mirrors, guns, and so on and so forth. So this is the route we should take. We need to produce things. Then when foreigners or Westerners come, they get products in exchange for money, and not going there with our knees on the ground begging for their money, because we know that money is not the actual product. Money is a medium of exchange. You only get money when you have something that you've produced. But in this African environment, with a colonial mindset, we believe that we need to have readily available money. This is why even our government would rather go and beg for money instead of creating state farms, producing products such as enough maize, millions of metric tons. We sell to these neighbors and get genuine money. We produce tangible products out of our natural resources such as copper, gold, uranium, and so on and so forth. We produce tangible products and sell to these other countries, and in exchange for that we get money, because that's the only way you can sustain your economy. But look at what the government is doing today. We were promised that we are going to run our own mines and produce our gold, but we are waiting for investors. Up to today, we are not getting the gold that is ours. Up to today, uranium, no one even knows where uranium is going and who mines it. We have a lot of products, a lot of things that we have. So we should be learning from these people and not listening to what they are telling us. For example, we have seen how a Chinese would come to Zambia, a prisoner per se. He doesn't have anything, he doesn't have money. He would go into Chongwe, for instance, talk to some villager, he gets a piece of land, he sets up a mine there, he starts digging, he gets a few barefoot workers who are not even paid. They start digging, they dig for gold in Chongwe. They are not even paid because he doesn't even have money. He gets that gold, he sells, he gets money and starts paying those people. And eventually they set up a very big mine. Someone who came with nothing, he comes there, he digs.
Minister of Fisheries and Livestock Makoza Chikote has urged residents of Kembe constituency to use proper methods of fishing to enhance the preservation of fish for future generations. Speaking to the locals at Nkongolo and Kakoma streams, Mr. Chikote says the use of mosquito nets to catch fish primarily disturbs the cycle of fish production. And a Kembe Member of Parliament, Princess Kasune, urged young girls to go back to school instead of catching fish for survival.
Is one of the ways people meet ends needs in Kembe constituency. However, Minister of Livestock and Fisheries Makozo Chikote has urged the local residents to use proper fishing methods other than mosquito nets. Speaking at Nkongolo and Kakoma streams, Chikote says the use of mosquito nets will eventually deplete all the fish in the streams.
I've seen those children you are carrying. Those children you are carrying, also one day they have to use this stream. Now if you are using wrong method of fishing, the wrong method of fishing will wipe everything. And when you wipe everything, there will be no production in terms of fish. These children of yours, by the time they will grow, they will not find anything here. My humble request, especially to you elders, because these small ones, they will not understand. They are seeing what you are doing. Make sure that you use right method to catch fish.
And Chibombo Member of Parliament Princess Kasone took the opportunity to encourage young boys and girls to go back to school instead of catching fish for a living. During his tour in the constituency alongside Permanent Secretary Dr. Anna Songolo and Ms. Kasone, the trio visited local marketeers to interact with the youths. Tasida Zulu, Muvi TV News in Kembe.
Ministry of Labour and the Social Security Permanent Secretary Boniface Nalishiwa says the resort hotel currently under construction in Livingstone is at 80% completion. Mr. Nalishiwa expressed happiness to learn that there are more than 1,000 Zambians working on the project. He said this shortly after touring the site where NAPSA is constructing a resort hotel facility.
The project is 75 to 80% complete, and it's neatly done. It has been done very well. The works are very good. The workmanship is excellent. The project has taken on board 1,050 Zambians in all aspects of construction, and these people have undergone training by the contractor. They have been trained in all areas where they are operating from. I'm indeed very happy about the impact it has had on the employment. A lot of our youths are employed, and they are doing a very good job. And the training, so I'm informed, is continuous. Every month they undergo some form of training depending on the level of the project. The impact it will have in Livingstone, it will create a lot of employment other than the current construction, but also when the project is complete, the tourism industry will improve and the bed capacity for the country for tourists will be higher than what is currently existing. The Minister of Labour and Social Security will be coming to check on.
We'll take a break on that note. See you shortly.
Congrats, bro!
What?
We'll be there. Last Sunday of next month.
Ew, are you here?
You may give her the ring. Everyone, say to free life.
One day, I'll give you the world.
Oh, you already have.
So here's how to pay using Airtel Money. Ensure your decoder is turned on and tuned to channel 1. Dial star 778 hash, then select the option that says Make Payment. Select Pay TV, then select Muvi TV. Enter the 12-digit smart card number, then enter the amount you wish to pay. Enter the Muvi TV account number, omitting the dash before the last digit. Then select the amount you wish to pay.
For inquiries, call customer care on 0764 250055 or 0764 250052 or 0978 732 411 or 0978 732 412.
Anyone can get lucky.
Welcome back, and now the rest of the news. Some residents of a garden compound have appealed to the government through the local authorities to demolish and restructure the damaged road. Speaking in an interview with Muvi TV News, Kelvin Jovel says the road, which serves as the main road connecting Ngombe compound and the Central District Business CDB, is not serving its intended purpose. Mr. Jovel also adds that the government should quickly look at the situation and cries of the residents.
Some residents of Garden Compound have called on government through the local authorities to hear their cries in the area. One of the residents, a hardware employee, says the road is lacking serious construction in the area. He says all they are demanding for is for the government to quickly look into the situation and build up a good road in order for vehicles, especially those operating on buses, as their business and only mean to survive, to serve without any challenges. Speaking in an interview with Muvi TV Monday morning, Mr. Njovu also added that people are not happy, not until their local authorities look at the situation first.
I happen to be one of the workers who operate on these hardwares here. Now, talking about the issues of the road, as you can see for yourself, the road is in a very deplorable state. It needs quick and urgent maintenance. This road, as you can see for yourself, it's a road that links Katimamulilo to Machinchi Road there. So those wishing to join from Katimamulilo to Machinchi and then they wish to go into town, this is the road that they use. So it's in a very deplorable state, it's damaged, and with the onset of the rain season, it needs quick and serious maintenance.
Meanwhile, another resident, Moses Zulu, says complaints have been raised for many times now, but no development has been seen so far. He says it is a surprise to see why their leaders cannot construct the road when they normally pass through the road.
Adeni ukabwera mvula apa pamazula vimanzi ukakunze konse ukubofika ukangalete vimanzi full adeni kuti ucrossing manje uende kuja uende usakire urochindo katika soma chintu cha shota mshopu uzapeza kuti upite apa mwera vaira pano sosungapite pa vimanzi apa uzapenga utikona mazambu adeni manje uzapeza kuti upite uende kuja ngani problem ero vakastoma vantu vauti vaja olemerako vajaiko na mamotoka ya nzeru yacha vamabvera nyansi kuti vacrossing vabwere kumabvura kuleka tundu so chetipemba cheugavamenti chauti vatikire vonzeru na ma-MPs vapita apa so including na kansela wamene apita mwaiona road inoita road so panka road vatikire vonzeru ndese
Caroline Mwanza reporting for Muvi TV News, Lusaka.
A woman of Anaconda district in Muchinga province has been sentenced to 25 years simple imprisonment for trafficking in persons involving 3 children. And the Chinsali High Court has also sentenced a man of Shawangando district to 7 years imprisonment with hard labor for theft of motor vehicle. Appearing for sentencing in the Chinsali High Court before Judge Justice Kelvin Limbani was Fraha Nakaonga, facing 3 counts of trafficking in persons. In count 1, the facts before the court were that on 8th April 2021 in Nakonde district of Muchinga province, jointly and while acting together with others unknown, the convict intentionally and unlawfully did traffic a child, namely Ann Chanda. In the second count, the conviction of 8th April 2021 in Nakonde district, jointly and while acting together with others unknown, the convicts intentionally and unlawfully did traffic Grenda Nakamba. The convict Nakaonga in count 3 in Nakonde district, jointly and while acting together with others unknown, the convict intentionally and unlawfully did traffic a child, namely Imelda Kafunda. In a mitigation through Defense Counsel from Legal Aid Board Manda Kapisha, the convict said she was remorseful and pleaded for maximum leniency. In sentencing, hearing, the convict Nakaunga Kabwe-based High Court judge Justice Limbani said children should be protected from people like Nakaunga who wants to harm them. And in another matter, a man of Shuangandu district has been slapped with a 5-year sentence for theft of a motor vehicle. Frederick Mukuka stood charged with a count of theft of motor vehicle contrary to section 281A of the Penal Code of Chapter 87 of the laws of Zambia. Particulars of that on 12 July 2020 in Shuangandu district, the convict stole a motorbike registration number GRZ23 valued at 22,000, a property of the Republic of Zambia. In mitigation, the convict Mukuka pleaded for maximum leniency from the courts, and Judge Limbani sentenced Mukuka to 5 years imprisonment with hard labor. On that note, we take another break. Still to come with more news items. Stay tuned. Province has become the fourth province to have a FIFA-funded stadium rehabilitation project flagged off and handed over to the contractor. Minister of Youth, Sports and Arts Elvis Nkandu, provincial counterpart Peter Piri, and FALSA Vice President Justin Mumba officiated at the event that was attended by the Sports and Youth Mayor of Chipata, George Mwanza. Flagging off the exercise at David Kaunda Stadium, Nkandu said the upgrade of the stadium will make it easy for Zambia to send athletes preparing for the 2022 zone games that will be hosted by Malawi. Nkandu says with the running track being part of the rehabilitation exercise, it will also mean that the facility will not just be about football. Nkandu heaped praise on FIFA for agreeing to support funds through the provision of funds. He also advises the contractor to engage locals in the works that do not require specialized labor. And Mumba said the upgrade of infrastructure in Eastern Province will galvanize efforts to have the region have representative in the Super League. Meanwhile, project consultant Matthias Piri said the rehabilitation would cover the overhaul of the playing surface, running track, change rims, terraces, ablution blocks, and perimeter fence. FAZ has secured funding from FIFA for 5 stadiums that will cost 1.2 million United States dollars, with 300,000 United States dollars allocated per stadium. The stadium earmarked for rehabilitation are Independence, Northwestern, Kaole, Wapula, Kasama, Northern, and David Kaunda Eastern. Maramba Stadium is still mirrored in a contractual dispute with the previous contractor engaged by government. The stadium rehabilitation exercise is for a period of 6 months. We end the news on that note. A recap of the top stories. Former PF Secretary General appears for questioning at a Charleston police station. Police summon Tambo over illegal meeting. 45 million kwacha Michael Chilufya Sata girls school stalls. Chief Chinsunka calls on the UPND to get young people busy to avoid cadreism resurfacing. David Kaunda Stadium rehabilitation flagged off. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Jessie Kalambo. Continue enjoying the rest of our programming.